Hello, word nerds, and welcome to the dictionary. My name is Spencer, and I'm talking silly today, I guess. This is episode F78, and let's just go into the words. Here we go. It's a field, an episode full of fields. The first word is the second form of the word field, adjective from the 12th century, of or relating to a field as a growing in or inhabiting the fields or open country. B, made, conducted, or used in the field. And C, operating or active in the field. And I believe some of the rest of the words in this episode are going to be fitting into one of those definitions, because this is the adjective, so we're describing these things as a field something. Maybe there is a tool that you're using on your farm in the field, the farm field, and so that would be a field tool, a field scythe, a field tractor. Let's see. So growing or inhabiting in the fields or open country, maybe a field mouse could be one of those that lives in the field. It inhabits the fields. Or operating or active in the field, maybe a military field thing, a field artillery. I don't know. I'm just making up examples. I know field mouse is a real example, but I don't know if these are in here. We'll find out. All right, sound effect. It's like the wind blowing over the fields. The third form of field is a verb from 1823, and we are starting with transitive. 1A, to catch or pick up as a batted ball, and usually thrown to a teammate. You got to go field the ball, field it, go grab that ball that the batter hit into your outfield, and then you will Why wouldn't you throw it to a teammate? I mean, you could just hold on to it and let them get a home run, or maybe they're just staying at second base, and then you're like, man, I'm not going to throw it. They stopped. We're good. But you're going to have to throw it eventually. You're working the field in the baseball. You're running around fielding balls. 1B is to take care of or respond to as a telephone call or a request. And so as calls are coming in, maybe to one of those telephone center places, and you got to field the calls. You got to deal with what they're calling about. I got a problem with my turkey. There's a whole Butterball phone thing about people calling about how to cook their turkey. And so, they're all the Butterball employees are fielding calls about turkeys. Let's see, to take care of, respond to. Yeah. Why did this become field, though? Why is the action fielding the calls? 1C, to give an impromptu answer or solution to, as in, the senator fielded the reporter's questions. Similar idea to the telephone thing. You're taking a thing, you're getting the question, and then you're answering it. And in this context, it's sometimes just like off the cuff, just in the moment. You don't got no time to prepare. The people are just asking you stuff, and you're like, this is what I think about that. Maybe. Fielding questions. Number 2, to put into the field, as in field an army. So you are sending, yes, if you're fielding the army, you are sending the army into the field, into the battlefield, to go do their business, what they do best. Also, field a team. So is this like field a team? Are you sending your baseball team into the field, the infield and the outfield? Or is this some other kind of thing? Also, more to the definition, to enter in competition. To enter in competition. So if you are fielding yourself, you would like to go into the competition, into the game. So like the manager, the baseball manager is fielding the team, sending them out to play the game, Or you're entering the badminton competition. So you are fielding the competition, I guess, when you're going. You're like, I think I'm better than everybody else. I'm gonna go. Let's go see how I can compete. Intransitive is to play as a fielder. The baseball person, that those people, they're fielding the outfield or the infield. They're both the fields. It's just one big field, and we call one the inner and one the outer. It's like your belly button. The baseball field is like a belly button. Okay, that's enough about just the word field. Now we have field artillery. Is that the example that I gave? Field artillery? Maybe it was. This is a noun from 1644. Artillery other than anti-aircraft artillery used with armies in the field. I don't know. I'm thinking guns and cannons and maybe some other stuff. I think we need more non-lethal things. I understand that that's not the best idea for war. Everybody's trying to kill each other, but, why we got to do that? Field artillery. It's artillery that is operating or active in the field, the battlefield. You sunk my battleship. Field bed. Noun from 1590. A four-poster with a canopy arched at the center. It's a four-poster bed. I guess people don't need to call a four-poster bed a four-poster bed. They can just say a four-poster and everybody knows what you're talking about. A four-poster, so it's got four things that stick up in the four corners of the bed, assuming you have a rectangular-shaped bed, with a canopy arched at the center. Is it arched down or is it arched up? If it's arched up, you need something to hold it up. Maybe it's hanging. Maybe there's something hanging from the ceiling that you clip the canopy to, or maybe it's arched down because gravity. You clip it on the four posts and then it just hangs in the middle. Why is this called a field bed? Are you taking this bed into the battlefield? Or are you taking this bed into a field of poppies and you're going to go take a nap? The field bed. Why? I don't understand why it's called a field bed. Let's see. Open country may conduct use. I don't know. Is the army using this field bed? Field corn, noun from 1856. An Indian corn as dent corn or flint corn, with starchy kernels grown for feeding livestock or for market grain. You're either going to sell this corn to the people at the market so they can eat it, or you're going to feed it to the animals so they have some food to eat, because they need to eat too. Dent corn or flint corn, not familiar with my types of corns. I don't know dent corn or flint corn, not at all. It's a field corn, and corn grows in the field, so can you call any corn field corn? Is this literally any type of corn? It doesn't say. I don't know why not all corn can be called field corn. They're grown in the field. Field crop. Noun from 1860. An agricultural crop as hay, grain, or cotton grown in large areas. And I would assume that most agricultural things would be considered a field crop. I mean, are there things that only grow in a small area? I think most of the time they're grown in large areas, so they can grow a lot of it. But you need a field to grow these crops. Hay, grain, or cotton, those are field crops. Field day, noun from 1747. Number 1A, a day for military exercises or maneuvers. And I know that this has gotten into schools. They have a field day where I guess that they're doing their maneuvers and exercises and sportsy things and stuff like that. So I think that came from the military. 1B, an outdoor meeting or social gathering. Let's have a field day. Let's all just hang out in our fancy frocks, drinking lemonade or tea or other beverages, and we're just having an outdoor meeting, hanging out outside where it's nice. Watch out for the bees. 1C, a day of sports and athletic competition. So these are all under number 1, and so we had the military field day, and then maybe that turned into maybe people would come out to watch the military on the field day. That's where it became this outdoor gathering thing. And they were like, well, the military people are going to play some games. And then it gradually evolved into people doing sports and people watching sports. And it's a field day. Is that how sports were invented? Okay, number 2, a time of extraordinary pleasure or opportunity. As in, the newspaper had a field day with the scandals. The newspaper people were so happy and ecstatic that there were all these scandals, and the people who were dealing with the scandals were not having a good time, but the people at the newspaper were very happy because they had news to run, and they were going to get more money because it's a business. Time of extraordinary pleasure or opportunity. Oh, I had such a field day when I went to go run in the fields. Field effect transistor. 3 words. There is a hyphen between field and effect. Effect with an E, not an A. Noun from 1953. A transistor in which the output current is controlled by a variable electric field. This is not the field we are talking about with crops and battles and stuff. This is just the general electric field, which we are surrounded by all the time. Transistor, in which the output current is controlled by a variable electric field. Don't totally understand that, but we now know why it's called a field effect transistor. The field affects the transistor. It's a variable electric field, and I guess depending on what that field is sending into the transistor, then the transistor is going to output something depending on that. Fielder. Noun from 1832. One that fields, especially a defensive player stationed in the field, as in baseball. Of course, baseball is the example, the fielder. All of the people on the bases in the outfield, they're all the fielders. Yeah, I did when I was in school. We were forced to play the sports, and so I was a fielder at that time, and that's about it. Yep, no more fielding for me. What other one that fields? What do you field? Are you I don't know. Fielder's choice, noun from 1902, and fielders has an apostrophe C. C, apostrophe S. I was looking at the next word, choice, which starts with a cheese. Let's see. Oh my God, let's just start this all over again. Fielder's choice. This is a situation in baseball in which a batter reaches base safely because the fielder attempts to put out another base runner on the play. So the fielder chose, it's not Sophie's choice, it's fielder's choice. Fielder's choice, what do you want to do? Do you want to throw it over there to get that person out, or do you want to throw it over there to get that person out? I suspect, let me reread it, a situation in baseball in which a batter reaches base safely because the fielder... Yeah, so basically what's happening, let's give an example. There's somebody on first base, and a batter comes up, and they go, ooh, I'm going to hit the ball, pew! And then it flies over everybody's heads, and it bounces, and then the person in right field grabs the ball. While that's all happening, the runner on first base runs, and gets to second base, or they're on their way to second base. The batter is on their way to first base. The person who got the ball, the right fielder, the fielder, they decide to throw it to second base to get that person out because that person is now one base closer to getting home when they get a point, and they want to stop that at all costs. So they're going to try and get the person out who's further along to getting that point. And they're like, you can stay at first base. I'm fine with that. But I don't want that person on second base. That's looking like a scary situation for us. So my choice is to get that person out. Is it much of a choice? I don't know. I guess you can choose where you want to throw the ball. Field event, noun from 1899. An event as weight throwing or jumping in a track and field meet other than a race. Track and field has all of these different competition races, different competition-y things. They're not all races. Some are races. They're running around the track. Or they're just standing in a field doing a thing. Throwing weights. Is that the shot put? That would be one of those. The javelin, I think that would probably be a field event. These are field events opposed to track events when you're running on the track. That's why it's track and field. Jumping. Is there an event, a field event where people just jump? Who can jump the most? Who can jump the highest? Who can jump the silliest? Who can jump the most on one leg? So many different options. I think we are now talking about the high jump, probably, where you go run, and you jump with no additional poles or anything. You just see how high you could jump over a pole. Then, of course, there is what is it called? The pole vault? No, it's the one where they get the long pole and then they stick the pole in the ground and then the pole bends and pushes them up over and they're like 20 feet in the air. And this one baffles me. How did we get to this event? But that's another one of those field events. Field fair. One word, fair is F-A-R-E. Noun from before the 12th century. A medium-sized Eurasian thrush with an ash-colored head and chestnut wings and back. It's a thrush. I think that's a bird. The species name is Turdus pilaris. It's very unfortunate that the word turd is in their species name. Turdus pilaris. Let's see, ash-colored head, so I imagine that's like a light gray maybe, and then a chestnut wings and back, maybe like a brown, chestnut brown. Hopefully not turd brown. Let's see, this word is from the Middle English Feld Fair, from Old English Feld plus fair, which is probably akin to the Old English fara, which means companion. Oh, maybe they were friendly with the humans. Akin to the Old English faran, which means to go. And there is more at the word fair, F-A-R-E. And maybe I can post a picture of this field fair thrush, but let's see if we can find a picture of this just so we know what we're talking about. Oh, yes, it is a bird. I'm so glad that I am smart enough to know what a thrush is. So let's see. Yes, their head looks like this light gray. Their wings are sort of a light brown, but also, and I don't think it said it here, no, their body, like from their neck down most of their torso and mostly on their sides, it's very speckled. So they got a white belly, let's say, but then above that it's this black speckly thing. And you birders, you know the thrush, this field fair thrush. But why? Are they found in the field? It didn't really say, but I assume yes. Why not? Okay. Field glass, noun from 1836. A binocular without prisms, especially for use outdoors, and this is used usually in plural. Get me my field glasses. I would like to look through the field glasses so I can see what is all. Maybe I need my field glasses to see the field fair. It's so far away. I would like to see it up close. I don't want to get close because then I might scare the field fair away. But I want to look at it closely with my field glasses. I can't see without my field glasses. Well, that reminds me, I need to go get new glasses. I need my progressives. Without prisms, I think, so sometimes binoculars, they just have straight tubes that you're looking through, but sometimes they sort of angle, like it's maybe closer for your eyes, and then it sort of angles out for the other end, and maybe they're using prisms. I would have thought just mirrors, but I guess prisms are also mirrors? So maybe they put prisms in there to help angle the light. And what's the benefit of that? I don't know. But these are just field glasses. You're looking at the field with your glasses. Whoa, whoa. Field goal, noun from 1902. 1. A score of 3 points in football made by drop kicking or place kicking the ball over the crossbar from ordinary play. I don't know if I realized you could drop kick it. I thought it was always the one person is holding it with their finger and then the other person comes and kicks it. I thought that the drop kicking happens when you're sending it to the other team. I don't know. Drop kick. I don't know. It's literally the right term, but it sounds funny in this context. Drop kick. And if they make it through the field goal, the thing that's like a U shape, then they get 3 points. So now, number 2, a goal in basketball made while the ball is in play. That's a much better description than the one that we had before. We had the word field in the previous episode, and it mentioned this thing, this field goal. So it's literally any point made, any goal when you get the ball through the basket, while you're normally playing. They distinguished it separately from a free throw point because they're not in play at that point. Everything's sort of paused, which is why it's free. You get a free chance to get the ball in the basket. Woo-wee! Okay, that was field goal. Whew. Field grade. Noun from 1944. The rank of a field officer is their field grade. Could it be field rank? Why is it grade? I don't know. Whew. Field guide. Noun from 1934. This is an illustrated manual for identifying natural objects, flora, or fauna found in nature. This is like the scientists who are going out in the field. Here's my air quotes again. You got to see them to believe them. And so when you're going out there, you need this thing while you are in the field. Again, it's not literally necessarily in a field of wheat. You're just out doing the work. And this isn't just for scientists. This is anybody. You can even take a field guide out there and it will show pictures, usually beautiful drawings or maybe photographs, and have some text as a description of this is that thing. And then you see it and you're like, this is that thing. I found it in the field guide. Very good. Field hand, noun from 1826. An outdoor farm laborer. They are the person who is working in the field. That's it. Field hockey. Noun from 1903. A game played on a turfed field between two teams of 11 players each, whose object is to direct a ball into the opponent's goal with a hockey stick. Which came first, field hockey or ice hockey? I don't know. Should we take a look at ice hockey? What, and also hockey? Like, I'm curious to talk about that one. Like, what's the etymology of it? Let's see. Ice, 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 ice. Lots of ice words. Ice hockey was 1868. So many decades, a few decades before field hockey, they were like, well, there's no ice. How are we going to play our hockey up here in Canada? We need another way to play. Well, instead of ice, we have a field. And instead of skates, we can just use our feet. We can run around. How many are on a ice hockey team? Is it 6? I feel like it's 3-2-1 or 1-2-3, depending on how you want to look at that. So field hockey has 11 players each. That's a lot of people. All right, field hockey. Done and done. And now we have one more word. It's field house. This one's 2 words. A lot of them were 2 words, but this one in particular I wanted to call out because it could have been 1 word. Noun from 1895. 1. A building at an athletic field for housing equipment or providing dressing facilities. When you need your bats and balls and nets and other things, you gotta go to the field house. That's where all that stuff is stored. And maybe sometimes you can get changed into your sports gear in the field house. 2. A building enclosing a large area suitable for various forms of athletics and usually providing seats for spectators. I specifically remember the field house at my high school. It was a very large room. And yes, on one end, or one side, there were seats for spectators. And then it was just a lot of space, enough space to have multiple badminton games going on, or I think we played tennis in there too, possibly, or just whatever. Like it's just an open space and you can just do a bunch of stuff in there. Were there basketball hoops? No, I think we had different gyms for basketball, but it was just a gym. It was just a space. But I guess specifically, it's a field house when you got the space for spectators. You got the stands. There were maybe, 10 rows of bleachers for people to sit and watch because maybe they were having a field day at the field house playing games. Okay, that's it. Let's pick a word of the episode. Today we had field artillery, field bed, field corn, field crop, field day, field effect transistor, fielder, fielder's choice, field event, field fair, field glass, field goal, field grade, field guide, field hand, field hockey, and field house. Hoo-wee! Let's see. I'm trying to think of which one I want to pick. I don't have very strong feelings about most of these. I'm not going into the field to study animals and plants, the flora and the fauna. I'm not playing sports, although I probably should. It would probably be very good for me, but never mind about that. Let's see. I'm leaning towards one. I think maybe let's just pick field glass as the word of the episode. I need my field glasses to see things up close. If I don't have my field glasses, they're very far away. I need my field glasses, please and thank you. That's it for that part. Now I'm going to tell you about a movie. Let's see how... Let's just do one. Let's talk about His 3 Daughters. This is a pretty simple, dramatic story. Simple in the sense that it takes place pretty much in one apartment, and it's just the story of three daughters who are adults who are taking care of their ailing father in the last days or weeks of his life. He is basically in hospice in his own apartment, and they have all come together to take care of him. And it's really about their dynamics and personalities, and how they clash or don't clash, and also them dealing with the death of their father and how that affects them. And it's very good, very good writing and acting, and it almost seems like it was a play or could be a play. I don't know if it was originally. I think this is an original piece of work, but it stars some people that you may recognize, including Natasha Lyonne. She's sort of the de facto main character, but not necessarily. I think that they're all pretty equal in that. And I think you should go watch it because it is very good. And I think it's on Netflix. And it's probably, I would assume it's got nominations for various awards and things. So you should check it out. His Three Daughters. That's it for this episode today. Thank you very much for checking this out. The show Technical out. And until next time, this has been Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye. Shoo.